Coming up next, the Sport Report. We cover all of the news and the results from the night before in the sports world. Become an expert on sports in under 15 minutes. Today, Chandler with Sports covers the MLB games and the NFL slate from yesterday.
Hey TJ, what's going on? I'm Chandler.
Hey TJ, what's going on? I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports.
And I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports.
Welcome to a special edition of this all crazy sports newscast.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler with Sports and this is the Sport Report.
Chandler with Sports is how he wants to go. With is his middle name, Sports his last name.
I want to get you out the door with every result from every league in under 15 minutes so that you're more informed about what's going on in the world of sports. With that in mind, here we go. Hit it, Blaze.
This is the Sport Report.
Monday, September 9th, 2019. Hey everybody, I'm Chandler with Sports, and this is the Sport Report. Before we jump into the results from yesterday, let's catch up on the top story of the night. This is top of the order.
There's the pass to Leitner. Puts it up. Yes!
There is no time remaining.
He came up 1 yard short.
Derek Jeter with one of the most unbelievable plays you will ever see by a shortstop.
It's showtime! It's party time!
This is top of the order.
Our top story comes from the desert. No, not Vegas. Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona to be specific. A tie in the NFL again. It's the third tie in the NFL in the last 2 seasons. And this time it happened on opening weekend. Well, it happened on opening weekend for the second consecutive season. It's also the second time in NFL history a tie has happened. Who are the 2 lucky winners of the NFL's third tie in 2 seasons? The Detroit Lions and the Arizona Cardinals, who tied at 27 apiece after the Lions blew a 24-6 lead. And it was not the first 24-6 lead to be blown on the day. Actually, it wasn't the first lead to be blown on the day. We'll get to that in around the NFL. For the first 3 quarters, it was all Detroit Lions football. After the third quarter ended, it was all Kyler Murray football. They went to overtime, played a 10-minute period, and then, well, a tie happened. I think that's the only explanation we can give you, because that is the only explanation we can give you. A tie in the NFL. They might want to adopt college football's rules for overtime. Kyler Murray becomes the first quarterback since 1997 to have a tie in his NFL debut. He's also the 12th quarterback since 2002 to have his first start in his NFL career be in Week 1. The previous 11 went 0-11, make that 0-11-1, counting Kyler Murray. The last quarterback to win on his debut in Week 1, David Carr, in 2002. That wasn't the only football game of the day. Let's get to the rest of the NFL.
Touchdown Auburn! Touchdown Auburn! A miracle to Jordan Hare!
Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free, and he scores on the last play of the game. Unbelievable! He ran the missed field goal back. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl.
How in the world?
Oh my goodness!
Around the NFL.
There were 13 NFL regular season games on the calendar.
We'll pick up in Charlotte, North Carolina, where the LA Rams defeat the Carolina Panthers 30-27. Jared Goff threw for just under 200 yards for the Rams, and Christian McCaffrey ran for over 120 yards and had 81 receiving yards for the Carolina Panthers. Panthers fall by a field goal. Tennessee Titans 43, Cleveland Browns 13. The Titans went out to an early lead, and that lead continued to grow and grow and grow. They sacked Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield 5 times and forced 3 interceptions out of him as well. Kansas City Chiefs 40, Jacksonville Jaguars 26. Both teams had major injuries in this game. We'll get to that in just a second. Kansas City jumped out to an early 17-7 lead at the end of the first quarter, and Andy Reid and company did not stop there. They scored 23 more over the next 3 quarters, even if their star wide receiver Tyreek Hill was injured. Jacksonville Jaguars had Nick Foles, their starting quarterback, picked up from the Philadelphia Eagles in the offseason. He broke his collarbone. So did Tyreek Hill. Both players are expected to be out for the next 8 to 10 weeks. Possibly longer, possibly shorter. It just depends on what their respective medical departments say and how severe the break is. In relief, rookie quarterback Gunther Minshew came in for the Jaguars and was 22 of 25 in his relief appearance. Baltimore Ravens 59, Miami Dolphins 10. Well, if you had the Baltimore Ravens in your Eliminator Challenge pool, congratulations, you just got a victory with the Baltimore Ravens. They win by 7 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson was remarkable and responsible for 5 touchdowns in this game. Minnesota Vikings 28, Atlanta Falcons 12. Stephon Diggs had a quiet game as the number 2 receiver for the Vikings. Atlanta's defense is being called by their head coach Dan Quinn, but it couldn't keep Adam Thielen out of the end zone. Buffalo Bills 17, New York Jets 16. The Bills trailed 16-0 at one point, and the Jets looked like they were going to cruise to victory, but the Bills came back and Josh Allen led a game-winning drive late in the fourth quarter to give the Bills the 1-point win. Philadelphia Eagles 32, Washington Redskins 27. The Eagles trailed 20-9 at one point in the game, but they stormed back and win by 5. Carson Wentz threw for 3 touchdowns on the day for the Eagles. San Diego, we mean Los Angeles Chargers 30, Indianapolis Colts 24 in overtime. The Chargers had the other 24-6 lead in the NFL, except this game did not end in a tie. Chargers score on a game-winning touchdown run by Austin Eckler. The 7-yard touchdown with 5:01 to go in the quarter gives the Chargers the victory. T.Y. Hilton had 2 touchdowns on the receiving end for the Colts in the losing effort. Marlon Mack also had a career day on the ground for Indianapolis. Austin Eckler, by the way, will be replacing Melvin Gordon until Gordon ends his holdout for a contract extension with the Chargers. Seattle Seahawks 21, Cincinnati Bengals 20. Russell Wilson threw for 196 yards for the Seahawks. This was a back-and-forth game for the majority of the game until Russell Wilson threw to Tyler Lockett for a 44-yard touchdown to give the Seahawks the 21-17 lead in the fourth quarter. Randy Bullock kicked a 27-yard field goal to put the game within reach for the Bengals, but neither team could score after that. San Francisco 49ers 31, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 17. Keep in mind that the Niners win by 14. Buccaneers quarterback Jameis Winston threw 2 pick sixes in this game, which cost the Buccaneers 14 points in the end. Bruce Arians was brought in to help out Jameis Winston's turnover woes. He'll need a few more weeks on that case. Dallas Cowboys 35, New York Giants 17. Ezekiel Elliott returned from his vacation in Cabo after his $90 million contract was signed earlier in the week. Dak Prescott had 4 touchdowns through the air, as Zeke had 1 on the ground. Eli Manning was pulled late in the game to give rookie sensation Daniel Jones a chance for the New York Giants, and the fans seemed to like that one. It remains to be seen whether Daniel Jones will play this season, as owner John Mara has said that Eli Manning will be the starting quarterback no matter what. And in the final game of the night, New England Patriots 33, Pittsburgh Steelers 3. The Steelers got rid of Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, and most assumed that that would cure the Steelers' woes. Well, the Steelers fell by 30 in Foxborough to the defending Super Bowl champions. Bill Belichick and company were rolling early, and they rolled throughout the game. Pittsburgh just did not seem to be on the right page when it came to coaching play calls and when it came to making the correct substitutions on the correct plays. It remains to be seen whether this issue will be sorted by the end of the season. If you're a fan of good football, you would hope to see that this issue is sorted by the end of the season. With the NFL covered, let's head to Major League Baseball.
Derek Jeter with one of the most unbelievable plays you will ever see by a shortstop. Ortiz into deep right field. Back is Sheffield. We'll see you later tonight.
Someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
Now from Major League Baseball.
The MLB lineup from yesterday includes 15 games.
In the MLB, we'll pick up at Miller Park, where the Milwaukee Brewers defeat the Chicago Cubs 8-5. John Lester falls to 12-10 on the season for the Cubbies. Josh Hader gets his 29th save of the season for the Brew Crew, who scored 5 runs in the 4th inning to break this game open. In 10 innings, San Diego Padres 2, Colorado Rockies 1. The Rockies need to go 3-15 over their next 18 games to avoid their first ever 100-loss season in franchise history. They're 3-15 over their last 18 games, for those of you wondering. Joel Stammen improves to 8-7 on the season for the Padres. Will Myers walks it off with a single in the 10th inning. Washington Nationals 9, Atlanta Braves 4. Max Scherzer improves to 10-5 with a 2.56 ERA for the Nationals, who hit 4 home runs on the day against the Braves. Texas Rangers 10, Baltimore Orioles 4. Mike Minor improves to 13-8 with a 3.08 ERA for the Rangers. Nick Solak drove in 4 runs for the Rangers in this game. Miami Marlins 9, Kansas City Royals nothing. The Royals only had 4 hits on the afternoon as their pitcher Mike Montgomery falls to 3-8 on the season. Marlins pitcher Sandy Alcantara pitched a complete game 4-hitter in this one. He struck out 8 Royals in the game as well. Cincinnati Reds 4, Arizona Diamondbacks 3. Raisel Iglesias improves to 3-11 on the season for the Reds. Michael Lorenzen walked it off in the bottom half of the 9th inning with a double. The Diamondbacks also let a run in the bottom half of the 8th inning so that the Reds could tie the game. Tampa Bay Rays 8, Toronto Blue Jays 3. Avisail Garcia had a 456-foot home run in this game for Tampa Bay. Philadelphia Phillies 10, New York Mets 7. The Phillies scored at least 1 run in each of the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th innings in this game. St. Louis Cardinals 2, Pittsburgh Pirates nothing. Jack Flaherty improves to 10-7 with a 2.99 ERA on the season for St. Louis. Carlos Martinez gets his 19th save of the season to help out Flaherty's 10 strikeouts over 8 innings. Cleveland Indians 5, Minnesota Twins 2. Mike Clevenger improves to 11-2 with a 2.72 ERA on the season for the Indians. Brad Hand gets his 34th save of the season for Cleveland. Chicago White Sox 5, LA Angels 1. Jaime Barria falls to 4-8 on the season for the Angels. White Sox player Jose Abreu hit a 462-foot home run in this game according to StatCast. Oakland Athletics 3, Detroit Tigers 1. Sean Manaea improves to 1-0 on the season for the A's. Daniel Norris falls to 3-12 for the Tigers, and Liam Hendriks gets his 19th save of the season for the A's. Manaea also struck out 10 batters in 7 innings. Hendricks came in the 9th to get the save, both for the Athletics. LA Dodgers 5, San Francisco Giants nothing. Kenta Maeda improves to 9-8 on the season for the Dodgers. Derek Rodriguez falls to 5-9 for the Giants, who only had 4 hits on the afternoon. 2 more games on the calendar. Houston Astros 21, Seattle Mariners 1. Birthday boy Garrett Cole struck out 15 Mariner batters in this game. He improves to 16-5 to 2.73 ERA for the Astros. Felix Hernandez falls to 1-6 for the Mariners. And in the final game of the night, this brought some fireworks, but not in the actual game itself. New York Yankees 10, Boston Red Sox 5. Rick Porcello falls to 12-12 on the season for the Red Sox. The Yankees scored 2 runs in 5 innings in this game. The fireworks we were alluding to earlier happened behind the scenes, first reported technically by Jared Carrabis. He tweeted out that there were some things going on behind the scenes at Fenway Park, and then it started to roll out. Boston President of Baseball Operations Dave Dombrowski is out. He's fired. He made some questionable calls by not re-signing Craig Kimbrell, then he did not bolster the bullpen at the trade deadline, thinking that they were good enough. And granted, they did improve, but not enough. There was no firepower once Chris Sale went down for the starting rotation, and then the bullpen couldn't get it together in the season. Dombrowski's gone. The Red Sox playoff chances gone as well. They're 8.5 games back of the second wild card, with 3 weeks remaining in the season. Before we end the night, we'd like to mention the U.S. Open final between Rafael Nadal and Daniil Medvedev. In a final that nearly became known as the comeback for the ages, Rafael Nadal saved himself versus Medvedev. Nadal led 2-0, and then Medvedev fought back to force a 5th set. Rafael Nadal won the 5th set 6-4. It's Nadal's 5th major since turning 30. That's the most all-time for a men's player after turning the age of 30. He's also now at 19 majors, one behind Roger Federer for most all-time. It's also 12 majors in a row for the big 3 in men's tennis, that being Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, and Roger Federer. This U.S. Open saw a lot of moments that were unexpected. Roger Federer didn't have enough juice to make it past the quarterfinals. Djokovic retired due to a shoulder issue. Naomi Osaka beat a 15-year-old wonder kid before falling in the next round, and that meant that the number 1 seed in each draw went out on back-to-back days for the first time in US Open history. Serena Williams lost her 4th major final in a row that she's played in, and so much more. Should be a fun offseason for tennis. We'll have Sport Report tennis correspondent Ben Finlow on here and there. He caught a cold, so sadly he could not report to us. But we look forward to hearing from him before the Aussie Open Down Under in Melbourne in January. That's the Sport Report for Monday, September 9th, 2019.
For now, I'm Chandler.
Thanks for tuning into the Sport Report today. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest in sports. In the words of Joe Buck, who is a commentator for Fox Sports,
We will see you tomorrow night.
so let it be written, so let it be done. See you next time on The Sport Report.
Do you want to contact Chandler with sports, have thoughts on sports, or questions about advertising on the Sport Report? Find us on Twitter or Instagram at Sport Report CWS for either social media site.
This podcast is copyrighted by the Sport Report for viewers to understand sports from a news reporting basis. Any other use of this podcast, Sport Report logos, or anything associated with this podcast without the express written consent of Chandler with Sports is strictly prohibited.